Hey everybody, Glenn here, and today we're going to talk about Super Geek Box for October. Super Geek Box has kind of established itself as pretty much the leader among the low-cost boxes out there, kind of overtaken One-Up Box, and as such, Super Geek Box has gone on my regular rotation as opposed to One-Up Box, which has been on the which has gone on to the kind of every once in a while box rotation. So let's check out Super Geek Box for October. Okay, the theme this month for Super Geek Box is chaos, and I actually like this theme because it gives them a lot of room. Sometimes I'll look at boxes and I'll look at the themes that they do and the ways they present their boxes and kind of think, okay, why did they do it this way? Well, this is actually a pretty smart move because it gives them some leeway as to the types of items that they can include in the box. So chaos is a nice, vague, general theme, right? So they're able to do a lot with this box. Now, before I get into the items, I just want to kind of put out there that as far as the items go, I like this box. The items, it's individually, I thought were very solid. But that being said, I have a lot of issues with this particular box. So starting with, it's the way the box was packed itself. And I know a lot of people have had this issue. You could pretty much see it on any video that you get from Super Geek Box this month. But Super Geek Box has a certain size of box, and they kind of overstuffed it. So, you know, when I got the box, it looked kind of like that. The lid was really kind of almost coming apart from the rest of the box. And, you know, it was a concern of a lot of people that a lot of their items weren't in there. So they didn't do a really good job of packing their box. They could have gone with a bigger box, and it actually probably should have been a little bit bigger and a little bit more solid of a packing. Because I've even actually heard of some people that were missing items because the box was just super packed. It came open. In shipping, it just kind of disintegrated as far as the items coming out of the box. So that being said, let's check out what actually is in the box real quick. Alright, we're going to start with the t-shirt. And as normal with Super Geek Box and some of the lower cost boxes, kind of a cheap t-shirt as far as quality. This one is a Toltex, which is a good quality shirt, but the shirt itself, you know, is one of those thin shirts that really doesn't have a whole lot of a texture to it. Now in the summer that's great, but now that we're getting into fall, you know, I'm not too thrilled with the shirts that are really thin. As far as the design goes, looks like we've got the Joker type character on there. He's crying because it doesn't look like, looks like he hit his funny bone. And then the Bat over here and the Robin looking character are laughing at him, so wah wah wah, ha ha ha. Okay design, you know, it's kind of a typical Super Geek Box design. I like that there's no Super Geek Box logo on here. You know, it's a standalone shirt. They did a good job of kind of just letting the design speak for itself and not having a big old logo on here to distract from. There's a problem with the shirt that I have that actually is going to run throughout this whole box, and that is the skirting of the IP. So what I'm talking about there is this isn't the Joker. That's not Batman. That's not Robin. They're depictions of characters that are similar to those. Now the reason that they do this, and the reason that some of these boxes do these kind of items, is so they can present characters that are familiar but also won't violate any kind of copyright, which means they don't have to spend money on any kind of trademark issues. So it's not really the Joker, it's not really the Batman, not really Robin. It's just a shirt depicting similar characters that kind of look like that. And that kind of theme kind of runs throughout this box, and we'll see that in the later issues. But as far as a shirt goes, it's not terrible, it's not bad, it's not a shirt I wouldn't wear, but it's also kind of a weak design, not great, and the lack of being official kind of sets us back a little bit. Alright, next major item is a little, almost a mask. This is a clever idea for an item. It's a semi-bandana that you fit over your face. And you see you've got kind of a Venom-y type of look there. Perfect for October, perfect for Halloween, right? This actually is a really cool item. But again, this is another item that gets around being official and getting sanctioned and making it an official item by doing this kind of item that just looks like Venom. So if they were presented with Marvel coming to them and saying, hey, how come you're putting our stuff on your items without paying us? Super Geek Box come back with, well, this isn't Venom. This is just I forget what they call it. Let's check it out. They call this particular item a villainous cloak of chaos. So no mention of Venom, none of that, even though this is obviously supposed to be Venom. Same with the shirt. If you look at the shirt, it is a fractured funny bone t-shirt. For once the Bat and his trusty sidekick get the last laugh. Every clown eventually has his day. So no mention of Joker, no mention of Batman. You know what it's supposed to be, and they know what it's supposed to be, but they get around the issue that way. It just doesn't sit well with me. If they're gonna do items that are related to official properties, they really, to me, should make the effort to make them official properties and to really kind of embrace that and deal with the money or whatever consequences that go along with that. Next, we've got those foam fingers you get at the football games and such like that, such as that. This is a chainsaw hand thing, which is a pretty cool idea. The problem with this is, number one, this is the item that caused the box to be so, coming apart at the seams and almost dumping all the items out. Number two, as soon as I tried to put my hand in this, it split. So, okay, I have big hands. Take that for what it's worth. But there's not a whole lot of room in this thing, even for the smallest hand, to, not bust it open. So this busted open as soon as I tried to put my hand in it. Really small, maybe good for a kid, but not to mention the fact it's got a Super Geek Box on it, which is fine. As far as the way they promote this item, Zombie Shredder 5000. So, an interesting idea, but the execution not so great just because it's pretty delicate. And even if I was able to get my hand in here, this isn't hollow at all, so you can't get your finger in there. So this is how it ends up. Not really all that, great execution-wise of an item. So that doesn't thrill me too much. All right. Next we've got a air freshener. We joke about air fresheners. A lot of fellow YouTubers do that as well. But I don't mind them because they're definitely useful to me. This one is a Dead Pixels air freshener. It's basically kind of an 8-bit video game character that's kind of zombified. Super Geek Box exclusive, but again, not really any property or anything. Just kind of a generic 8-bit kind of Kirby kind of character that's zombified there. So again, it's okay. I don't mind the air fresheners, but not a real property associated with it. So okay, we got some candy, which I thought was kind of weird. I think it's Pop Rocks month, considering this is the second box in their Halloween themes that I've gotten Pop Rocks. In fact, I gave away on Halloween itself quite a few of these Pop Rocks that came in the boxes. So again, at least this is almost a full pack of Pop Rocks, not like our last one, which is really tiny. Again, I don't mind the candy, but don't count it as one of your items, and they most certainly did count it as an item in here. As far as Pop Rocks, one of 3 assorted flavors. I'm sorry, this is not the second item in the box. This is something you throw in addition to all the other items, so that didn't throw me too much. All right, lastly, my favorite item in the box, we've got finally something that is people recognize, and that's a property, that's Zero, and it's a Mopis. Now, earlier we got the Jack Skellington Mopis, So now we've got 2 of the set, pretty much just missing Sally as I drop it on the floor. But very cool item. I like the Mopis. They stand up really easily, even though this one kind of little falls off my hand a little bit. This is actually a great, it's got the floppy ears and everything. I like Zero. And I'm digging the Mopis line from Funko. So it's good to get a Funko product in here. And the Mopis are a good choice, especially for a Halloween kind of theme. So they did a good job with this. And this kind of saves the box for me a little bit. Despite my disappointment in the other items, I love getting the Zero. So good job there. And then lastly, their button. As always, you see Jack on there. Super Geek Box, October 2015. Chaos, again, it's a Jack Skellington figure that they could say is just resembling Jack Skellington and not actually him. So, other than that, we've got, I thought was interesting this month, they put their quote-unquote spoiler card in kind of a pamphlet form. So you have to unfold it. The Mopis, we were a variant, so we got Zero, but we could have gotten Oogie Boogie or Jack as well. So that's kind of cool. I like when there's a chance for getting more than one different kind of item there. Same with the Pop Rocks. That was a variant, but again, that's a nothing item, so I'm not thrilled about that. We've got the Dead Pixels air freshener, the T-shirt, the kind of bandana face covering, and then the foam chainsaw. So again, as far as this box goes, individually the items were fine. No problem with the items. It's the lack of IPs and a lack of kind of official properties that really kind of bugs me. Not to mention the fact that the box itself was not packed very well, and they didn't really put a whole lot of, really good thought into shipping these boxes out. So I'm going to give this box a C+. Really, the Mopis was the only thing I really was thrilled about. Everything else just struck me as knockoffs. It was the knockoff box. A knockoff shirt, a knockoff bandana. This didn't really have a property associated to it. It wasn't really great executed either. The air freshener didn't have a property. Very knockoffy kind of box. So kind of disappointing. So C+ there. I did like the Mopis. That's a great addition. And again, individually as items, shirts are great. The foam figure was different. This was very Halloween oriented, but just when you put it all together, it just didn't spell a great box for me. So that's about it for this box. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. All right, our next Hall of Fame member to induct today is Jonathan Renteria. Jonathan, despite being a Raiders fan, which really irks me, and I really hate giving out any kind of compliments or praise on someone who picks such a terrible team to be a fan of. That being said, Jonathan's been a really great supporter of the channel. Make sure he watches every video. Really has a lot of great comments. Similar to Jeff, he has a very light sense of humor and gives a really fun and dynamic presence to the commenters and the channel. So congratulations, Jonathan. I'll be sending you something eventually. So thank you for supporting the channel, and thanks everybody for supporting as well. We're getting towards the end of the month. I still have quite a few boxes to go, so we're going to hit them up pretty quickly. This weekend, by the time you're seeing this video, this weekend I'll be heading to BlizzCon. I'm going to be vlogging from there, and hopefully doing some really interesting videos and showing you some of behind the scenes from the BlizzCon convention. And so that'll be a fun, different video we got coming up. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to do that. And also this weekend I'm going to Disneyland, so I'll have a special update from there as well. So until then, we will see you later. Make sure that you hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as always. I'd love to see your comments down below, and we will see you later. Adios.